Hey everybody, welcome to the National Signing Day podcast. I'm your host, Coach Martin, and today we're going to be talking about your college recruiting checklist. Now, we're going to kind of go through 14 points that we feel are major on your checklist, but hey, fear not. We're definitely going to put this list on the website so you can download it later, so we'll definitely talk about that. We're going to basically go through 1 through 14 in particular order of your checklist. So the first thing that we have on the checklist when it comes to recruitment is you have to decide. You got to ask yourself, are you willing to do the work that it's going to take to get recruited? Because listen, not everybody gets recruited. As a matter of fact, most people don't get recruited. So if you're one where you're not a top 1%, you're not on all the coaches' recruiting boards, if you're not that type of an athlete, which most of us are not, then you got to do the work. So you got to ask yourself, are you willing to do the work? What are you willing to give up to do the work to get recruited? And maybe that's, get off Xbox, every day when you come home from school, you come home from practice, you're on it for a couple hours. No, you got to be able to ask yourself, are you willing to give up certain things to get recruited? So that's number one. Number two, you have to get an assessment. I like to use this example that one day when you get older, you're going to buy your first home. And you're probably not going to pay cash when it's your first home. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a loan. And before the bank will give you a loan, they're going to have an appraiser go out and do an appraisal or an assessment. So the same thing with you. You have to have an assessment, a realistic assessment, because if you're targeting schools that are well above your athletic ability, you have no chance of getting recruited. So my recommendation, you're going to go to your coach, your high school coach, or your club coach, or both of them, schedule an appointment, tell them you need 10 minutes with them, sit down and ask them, based off my athletic ability today, right now, what school should I be targeting? Now, if you feel like you're above that, then have a couple stretch ones, but you need to target that group of schools. Number 3, academic eligibility. So the crazy thing is if you go through all the work and you go through the process of getting recruited, and then you find out at the very ninth hour that you're ineligible academically, that's going to be horrible. So schedule an appointment with your guidance counselor. Most people in 4 years of high school, they spend less than 6 minutes with their guidance counselor. Schedule an appointment, sit down with your guidance counselor. It won't take very long. Let them know that these are the schools that I'm thinking about going after as far as trying to get a scholarship. Am I taking the right classes to be able to get into that, right? So you're going to make sure that that's taken care of. And you can meet with them once a year just to make sure you're on track. So that's the academic piece. Number 4, right, your team. I like for people to build a team around them. I think you always go farther with a team. So get a couple people and put them on your recruitment team. So I'll give you an example. Have somebody that's going to hold you accountable, which means if I'm going to target 20 schools this week, I'm going to have Johnny on my team and he's going to keep me accountable that I'm reaching out to those 20 schools. So Johnny would be my accountability partner. You might want to have somebody too, that if you have somebody in your family that's maybe in business, maybe you have someone in your family that is like a real estate agent. Usually these people are good at role playing because you're going to have to get good at being able to have a conversation with a college coach. So get these people on your team, build a recruitment team around you, and have the team, assign them specific roles to help you in your recruitment. So you're not a lone ranger. You're not doing it on your own. Okay, that's number 4. Now we're going to jump in number 5. Number 5 is guidelines. So you're going to want to learn the rules for your sport. So when it comes to academic rules, right, for NCAA, NAI, there's rules. And the rules change per sport. And they also change sometimes per gender per sport. So you're going to want to make sure that you understand what these rules are. Now, there's never a rule on when an athlete can reach out to a coach. So you can reach out anytime to the actual coach, but there are rules. So you're going to want to learn what those are. Those are NCAA. You can go on NCAA's website and learn those. We'll also be putting them as well on the National Signing Day podcast website to be able to find them a little bit easier. Okay, that's number 5. Now, at number 6, you're going to want to create a recruitment board. Now, it could be simple as far as maybe getting a couple big sheets of paper, putting them up on your wall in your bedroom, and that's going to be your board for recruitment. I always think of football. Like in football, I love the draft every year. They'll have pictures of the war rooms, so you see the room with the coaches and the GM and the owner, and everyone's in this room. That's part of the actual draft for an NFL team. Well, they have a boards up on on their wall, so you're going to want that as well. It doesn't have to be that extravagant, but you're going to want to have papers up there so that way you can put the schools on that. So that way it's visual, it's up, it's in front of your face every single day. That's how I would do it. Number 7, target schools. So these are the schools that you're going to target, and you're going to put them up on that board that you have on the wall. So you're going to want to target schools. So here's a rule of thumb. Every 10 schools that you're targeting, 7 of them should be schools that are going to fit your athletic ability. Now, 2 of them should be fallback schools, and 1 of them should be a stretch. So it would look like this. So I could have like 7. Let's say I'm targeting NCAA D3. So 7 of them should be D3. Maybe 2 of them will be a JC, and maybe 1 of them will be a D2 or NAIA. Example, right? So kind of set your target schools, put them up on the board, and that's who you're going to target. Okay, number 8. Now that we have the schools that we want to target, we have our board up on the wall, now we got to create a profile. So your profile is basically your resume, right, that the coaches are going to see if you're a good fit for their program. It should have, your information about you, what you've done, your accomplishments, your metrics, your height, your weight, what hand are you, how fast your times, your weights, what do you bench, what are you squatting, depending on the sport, right? It's going to have all that, right? Your 40, the 3-cone drill, all the things that are relevant to your specific sport. You're going to want to have those. Now, if they're verified, where you have it done by somebody with a laser, you're going to want to basically let them know as well. Now, here's an asterisk. Don't lie. Because here's the deal. They're going to find out whether or not you're telling the truth. And if you lie, you're going to ruin it. So tell the truth, right? Don't lie on your height. Don't lie on your weight. Don't lie on how fast you are. Don't lie how strong you are. Tell the truth. So you're going to want to put all this information in there as well. You're also going to want to put your coach's information in there. So if you have a high school coach, get their email, their phone number added in there. Because if the college coach is interested in you, they're going to contact your high school coaches. So make sure that's all in there. Okay, number 9, your social media. Make sure your social media is kosher. Make sure that you don't have stuff on there that's inappropriate, the stuff that's going to disqualify you from getting recruited. It's important. We shouldn't even be having this conversation, but we are anyways. Okay, now number 10. I always say that recruitment is like football. It's like hockey. It is a contact sport. Now it's time to contact the coaches. So I would recommend you start with an email. You're going to send them an email, but then you're going to follow up with a phone call, right? Touch base with them. Let them know that you are looking forward and you're excited. You'd love to be part of their program. You believe that you could be a great fit and you can help what they do. And you're going to have some questions that you have ready for these coaches. Right, so you want to have a conversation with them. And even if you're not a good fit for the program, they can help you and maybe guide you to maybe schools that maybe are a little bit better of a fit, right? Or let's say you're targeting D1 and everyone's saying you're just not a fit for their program, then maybe now we're going to make the adjustment and go D2, right? So you got to contact the coaches. Now, at first, it's going to be super, super scary, 100%. That's why you role play. So you role play with your team member, right, that business person or that realtor that's now on your team, and you're going to role play with them, even if you did it once a week. The more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to be, and the more comfortable you're going to be, the easier and smoother it'll be when you're on the phone. Okay, now number 11. 11 is you want to track and measure, right? We have a rule in business that whatever you track and measure, you can improve. So again, if I'm talking to 20 NCAA D1 coaches and I'm not a fit for any of their programs, there's a great chance that I'm targeting the wrong schools. Now, maybe I need to target D2 schools, right? And go that route. So I can make an adjustment based off the feedback. So that's what that means. Number 12, additional exposure. So coach, what does that mean, additional exposure? Well, additional exposure means if I'm targeting certain schools and maybe this school's holding a showcase, or they're going to be part of the showcase in my area, maybe now I go to it. Now, I don't do it where it's the opposite, where most people just show up and they go to a showcase, and I don't do that. I would rather do it where it's planned. Like your target schools are going to be there, right? Now I'm going to contact and find out what coaches are going to be at that showcase. I'm going to set up a meet and greet. I'm going to attend the showcase. I get additional exposure, and I get a meet and greet with the coach, and I'm going to be in better position, right, to win than people that just show up and hope that they stand out. That's additional exposure. Okay, now we're coming. Now we're getting ready to land the plane. We have two more pieces. One, campus visits. Most people get this wrong. Most people will do campus visits, and it's just more of a photo op. They're doing photos, they're putting on social media. They have no intention and no chance to ever be at that school. That's not how you do a campus visit. You narrow it down, and now when you have some schools where, maybe you're targeting 40, but now you've narrowed it down, it's between 4 or 5, and you got legit interest where you have an opportunity to get recruited. Now you're going to want to visit those schools, right? So make sure you understand the rules regarding visits, right? You have, you got to make sure that you're not in violation on that, right? But regarding that, you're going to want to take a look at the school, the campus. Take a look at the program, take a look at where it's at. If you're somebody that lives in San Diego, California, and for you cold is 62 degrees, and all of a sudden you think that you're going to go to Wyoming, and you're going to go to a school where maybe in the winter it's it's in the negatives, you're going to have some shock there, and it may not be a fit for you. So you're going to want to go to these schools, do a campus visit, make sure it's going to be able to be a fit, because you're going to be there for 4 years, right? So it's super, super important. Never just attend the school, accept a scholarship without actually doing a visit. Do a visit, right? Do a campus visit. And then finally, 14. Now you need to weigh your options. So sit down with your parents, right? Make the decision on what's going to be best, right? What school is going to be best? What program is going to be best? If you're weighing your options based off what coach is going to be there, that coach may not be there in a year. So don't rely only on the coach. That should be the major factor regarding your decision, because the coach may not be there. The coach could be fired next year. The coach could move on to another program, right? So weigh your options. Is this school going to be a good fit? What is it that I'm majoring in? Maybe they have a great major program regarding the actual one that I'm taking. So you're gonna want to check all that out and see, hey, this is a great fit for me. It's a great fit for me both athletically and academically. I think it'll be a good thing. Okay, now I move forward. But you're gonna want to do all of these, and by doing all 14 of these things, you put yourself in position to win, and that's what we want. So if you didn't write them all down, or maybe you're driving and you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh man, I wish I'd wrote them down. You can download a copy. You can go to the National Signing Day podcast. You can download a copy of the checklist. You can even download a copy of the actual list that you're going to put up on the wall. And if you have any questions, be sure to reach out. We are here to help. Make sure you not only visit us online, but also visit us on social, share, and reach out if you have any questions. So until next time, I'm Coach Martin, and I am out.